Hello and welcome to vlog 3, the coaching process. So before we begin, let's discuss what the coaching process actually is. Ori and Knowles in 2003 explained that the coaching process encompasses all stages a coach goes through to bring about improvements in an athlete or team. So how do you bring about improvements in an athlete or team? This simple flowchart from Frank et al. Shows that the coaching process is an ongoing cycle of performance and practice, within which a coach is required to evaluate, intervene, and feed back information to the performers with the ultimate aim of enhancing future performance. However, coaching is not restricted to delivering coaching sessions or a series of sessions. An effective coach has to understand and deal with a wide range of variables beyond the coaching session. Before coaching a session, I use Abraham's Who, What, How model. For the coaching session you're about to see, the who is an athlete who is a novice in weightlifting, who wants to learn how to clean so they feel more confident in CrossFit classes. They have no previous injuries or current injuries. What will I be coaching? I'll be coaching the hang clean, as this is a regression of the full squat clean and a good starting point for beginners. And how will I be coaching this? I'll be breaking the movement down into parts to familiarise the athlete with the components of the movement, and then we'll put it all back together and practice the movement as a whole. As the athlete is a novice, he is in the cognitive stage of learning where he's trying to grasp the basics of the skills and tasks. It's said that coaches should use simple explanations and demonstrations and use simple basic drills and practices to develop these skills. As a result of this, I'll be adopting a command and practice style of coaching, where I, the coach, will make all decisions and instruct the athlete, but I will also consult the athlete and make sure that he is happy with the movement before we move on to the next component. My coaching style, however, changes depending on multiple factors, including the age and the ability of the athletes. It changes if we are learning new skills or if we are practicing already learned skills. And it changes if I'm in a group or a one-on-one setting. During this vlog, I'll be analysing instruction and feedback as a coaching behaviour I think I could improve upon. Specifically, I'll be analysing internal versus external focus of attention cues, the frequency of feedback, and athlete feedback questions. As you can see in this clip, the athlete is jumping forwards and isn't fully extending or jumping up vertically to generate power. To instruct the athlete, I started with internal focus of attention cues.
Jump up, get down. Okay, so after we've extended, drop underneath the bar and catch.
However, this cue point didn't really work with the athlete, so then I opted for an external focus of attention cue point.
You're not allowed to jump over this line. Okay, so if you do, it's a failed rep basically. Okay, so we're going to use this to see if our jump is successful. So exactly the same, we're going to jump up and catch. Don't jump over the line. Let's see.
As you can see, this external focus of attention cue resulted in significantly better results straight away. When reviewing my session, I noticed I used internal cues more regularly, and this may not be optimal in motor learning. This is supported by many studies that have shown external focus of attention cues have important influences on both performance and learning in biomotor abilities such as endurance, speed, strength, and coordination. After reviewing the session and noting what the athlete needs to work on, I would now specifically think of some external cues I could use with the athlete. For example, when correcting the bar path as it comes away from the body, I would now use an external cue, such as imagine the bar so close that it will pull up your shirt as you lift. Next up is a clip of me coaching the hang position to the athlete. Notice how many different cues I give the athlete.
Okay, and we're going to hinge our hips back. The weight should be through the middle of our foot. Okay, so we're going to have a barbell in our hands. We push our hips back and we stop above the knees. So I should be able to wiggle my toes a little bit. From here, I want you to squeeze your shoulder blades back and down and imagine there's a piece of string attached to your chest and you're pulling it. If you pulled it, my chest is going to come through. Proud chest, we call it. Okay, so
I had to trim this video to 30 seconds. It actually went on for over 1 minute. For a simple movement of lowering the bar into the hang position and standing, I explained 11 different cue points. Each athlete is limited in how many cue points they can retain in their short-term memory. According to Miller 1959, this number is estimated to be between 5 and 9 pieces of information. By using so many cues, the athlete may become confused and suffer performance detriments, which will make the teaching process much more difficult. Additionally, athletes tend to remember the first and last coaching points best when given a list. I could have used this to my advantage by emphasizing the most important pieces of information first and last. This table by Jans in 2009 explains 3 solutions to overcueing. The first solution is to vary instructions. Athletes vary in the manner in which they learn new skills. Some may prefer less oral instruction and more demonstration, whereas others may prefer to practice the skill in order to understand and master it. Therefore, it may be worth me taking a more divergent style of coaching. The second solution is to limit the cues to around 5 to 9. And the third solution is to cue less but provide quality feedback. And this leads me on to my next analysis. The next video shows the athlete practicing the whole movement at the end of the session. I asked him to do 5 reps to finish. Notice how many times I step in and provide feedback during these reps.
Good. Again. Jump more. Well done. Now try not to jump forwards. Last thing, try not to jump forwards. Jump up. Yes. One more, just like that. Get a little bit under, get under it a little bit more.
One of the most important variables in the motor learning process is the feedback provided to the learner attempting to acquire a new motor skill. A number of studies have demonstrated that reducing the proportion of trials for which augmented feedback is provided can result in more effective learning than giving feedback after every single trial. As you can see, I provided a constant and persistent stream of feedback, which may actually degrade performance and retard the learning process. The degrading effects of frequent and immediate feedback on delayed retention and transfer tests are typically explained with the guidance hypothesis. According to this hypothesis, feedback has positive effects, such as guiding the learner to the correct response. However, frequent feedback is also argued to have several side effects that could degrade learning. I was inhibiting the process of intrinsic feedback, including error detection and self-correction by the athlete, which may lead him to become completely dependent on me, which actually delays the overall goal of mastering the exercise. What I should have done is let the athlete perform his 5 reps and then ask the athlete how the movement felt, and then help guide the athlete to see and feel those errors. By backing off and letting the athlete think about each rep would allow the development of the athlete's own feedback mechanisms and the ability to self-correct. This would boost the learning process. The next few clips will show me trying to get feedback from the athlete. Notice how I ask very closed questions and as a result receive hardly any useful feedback.
Did it feel a bit better or not? Did it feel better? Yes. And you were correcting yourself. You could feel that you were doing it wrong, which is exactly. It's so much better. Could you feel a difference?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah? Did that help having the line there?
It's a reference point. It's great.
Good. Place it down. Well done. How did that feel?
More to think about.
Too much to think about, or is it?
I think it was okay.
Okay.
As you can see, I asked lots of closed questions with yes and no answers. This was a reoccurring theme throughout my session. On reflection, I feel that my command style of coaching limited the athlete as I was telling the athlete exactly what he should be doing and overcueing him, thus not allowing him to discover and self-correct himself. On reflection, I need to adapt a more athlete-centered approach. I need to ask more open-ended questions and create more discussion with the athlete. The aim of a coach's use of questioning should always be to elicit an action, and questioning should be targeted at developing knowledge of an action or an environment to stimulate an athlete's self-regulatory activities in practice. I should have used follow-up questions to get the athlete thinking for himself. When I asked, did it feel better, and he responded yes, I should have asked questions such as, what did you change in this set to the previous set? And rather than me telling him what he was doing wrong, I should have asked questions such as, why do you think you were jumping forwards? And what do you think you could have done on those reps to stop the barbell coming away from? To conclude, I found this vlog extremely useful in identifying elements within my coaching process that could be improved upon. As a result of completing this vlog, I will now be addressing the following points within my coaching process. I'll be putting more effort into thinking of external focus of attention cue points to use with my clients. I'll be trying to adopt a more divergent style of coaching and letting the athlete do more of the discovery rather than me always instructing. I'll try to limit the feedback I give while my clients are performing their reps. And finally, I'll be asking more open-ended questions to create discussion with my clients and to allow them to do more of the thinking. Thank you for listening to my third and final vlog.